All right, this is a real quick video. Israel giving all praises to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai by Hashem Rakakadash. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, double honors to the apostles, elders of Great Millstone. Much salutation to the brothers teaching word for the hopeful elect, soon to be elect. Most High will say the short in time for the elect's sake. And in time the elect work is being done. And, things are going on and, there's military presence in Chicago right now. And really, this is what we told you was coming, Jacob's trouble. We told you these things gonna happen before they do, and that really no man can stop. There's no affirmative action. There's no anything concerning political matters that could stop what's about to happen. And then there's a black mayor in Chicago, Brandon, what's his name? Brandon Johnson, became mayor and became elected mayor in 2023 and took office on May the 15th, 2023. And he opposes it, but there's nothing he could do, you know. And he might be a part of the puppeteering that's going on, because they have that term, the world is a stage, you know, and that's just what's going on. Even these protesters, man, and they'll have mixed, they may have mixed protests, just like they did with Black Lives Matter. It was black first, it catered to black lives and black people, and then you saw the Edomites getting out there saying they was affected by it. They were, you know, and they speak about humanitarian, and this is not justice, and they talk about equality, liberty. That's all BS, man. That's all a part of the plan. Um, and Trump is going to continue to be Nero and play this thing out. And they would, because they listen to the prophets, so they try to upset prophecy and say, well, let's take Trump out. So because they saying Trump is Nero, and let's take him out. So you know, and then but Most High has the heart will to keep him in. That stage where he got shot at, and then even with CK, all that stage, man. You know. So, and I looked up trouble, and all these newscast females and all that. These are props, man. And then, I mean, the action is real. The ICE protest continues. Trump. I mean, them going in. We're setting the overall thing that they're doing is setting up martial law. We're basically in the beginning stages of martial law. In full view, because it's always been a police state, some kind of form of martial law, but not like this. And I think a news anchor said that. He said there's never had been troops sent like this into any city in America, um, you know, and this magnitude. So they're setting up martial law. They're setting up laws against domestic terrorism, targeting the Israelites. Um, you have such thing as truth sayers and whistleblowers, and then the Israelites kind of fit that bill too, but they're going to be more targeted than the whistleblower. The whistleblowers they're going to fade out, and the truth sayers take the back, because now they're going to bring force. So the truth sayers they get on the platform for a little bit, and then even these celebrities, and then they disappear. You know, when they're pressed, Nick Cannon and Ice Cube and all them, that you ain't really heard nothing from them no more when they were pressed. Even some of them ones that Vlad interviewed, but those are just minor things uh, that relates to this big puzzle, and you know they could be regarded in a sense, but really this is the bigger piece of the puzzle. This is the bigger chess move, the bigger war that we're dealing with overall. concerning prophecy. Like we said, it all goes back to prophecy, like the apostles, elders teach, man, the bishops teach. Um, so I looked up the word trouble regarding that scripture, Jacob's trouble, and I'm going to read that scripture. It says Zar.
Strong's H 6862.
This looks like Tazarah to me, but they say it's Zar, or like I said, that underscore. I'm gonna have to right here. I'm gonna have to learn to read that because I know Syrian, but I don't know if I haven't gotten to those kind of symbols yet. So, and I will, but I really want to go back to the Paleo Hebrew because that's our language and our the way it's written out. But it's good to know both. Um, and then another word is they said a car. So, but I'll just read the definition. Distress, adversary. That's what in the neighborhood. The Esau is our adversary. It says your adversary, the devil, know that he have a. It calls the devil an adversary. Adversary, devil is a false accuser. Satan means adversary. They're both of those things, and they're gonna accuse Jake of domestic terrorism. They're gonna choose. Uh, point Jake out as what do you call it? Truce breakers with America, or um, what's that other term? Hate group. They already pinned those things on us. That's why they keep using that negative word black, because it ties into the it ties back to where blacks were rebelling with that kind of label of some sort of power movement, like Black Power movement, or a black movement with the Black Panther Party and black. So they definitely want to keep that stigma in there. They want to keep that label on us because they want to convince the people that they're dealing with a very extreme group, and possibly with weapons, and possibly with whatever they try to pin on us, man. And the scripture says he's a liar, man. He's the father of lies. That's what Yahweh Shai said about him. Yahweh Shai, the very son of God, hate these devils. If his father hate these devils, he does. And they try to leave that hatred out that Yahweh Shai hated. And he said, it even says friendship with the world is enmity with the Most High. Why they exercising this new world order as the new world, to where anybody come against that kind of world is a hate group. That kind of system is a hate group. But yet, this is the same system set a foundation of blood, great murder and robbery, and things of that nature. Debauchery and abomination, witchcraft, and even worse. You know about the Illuminati. Everybody know about the Illuminati now. The Skull and Bones, and these hidden colleges, that do sacrifices, Bohemian Grove, So and all the music is the sacrifice that goes within Hollywood, the music, the entertainers that sacrifice their children, their loved ones. Everybody know that's a fact, man. It don't really even have to be documented. It's just all of a sudden, you have all these celebrities, when they get into a high state, they loved ones just mysteriously disappear and shit. And then you follow the actions that led up to that, and then you be like, oh, okay, well, shit. When that person died, that person just got a better record deal, or got a top movie. So you put it together, man. It's a piece of the puzzle, and like the apostles always say, our apostle elders on down, this word is this book is coded. This world is coded. This world is a matrix. You got to cipher, um, what's going on. Narrow, tight. Jacob's gonna be in a tight spot, and this is Jacob's trouble. It's a trouble for the whole world. It's trouble for Esau too. Because what Most High gonna have Esau adversaries come against Esau. It's gonna a lot of these militias and a lot of these off brand. We what they call them? They call them like the ice and uh that other one. Damn, I can't think of it, man. The FBI and CIA things like that. They work for America, but they kind of have pride of being as a badge of their own you know independent body. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of them, they might not be against. They might be against the government. They might be against Trump because they're kind of like out there. And I'll look up that word militia too. Let me get it right here. Militia definition. Militia, a military force that is raised from the civil population to supplement a regular army in an emergency. A military force engages in rebel or terrorist activities in opposition to a regular army. Now, in the U.S., all able-bodied citizens are eligible by law to be called on to provide military service supplementary to the regular armed forces. Now, like I said, does militia function as an independent body outside of America? I probably I probably asked it right. As a company, militia. It says Melissa. Man, come on. It says yes. Many countries use militias, but their functionality as independent bodies varies significantly. So some countries like Switzerland and Israel incorporate large state supported militia forces into their national defenses, while others have militias that are essentially autonomous, non-state actors operating with varying degrees of foreign support. The definition of militia itself differs, encompassing everything from national reserves to paramilitary organizations. So yeah, it says yes. So you might have a federal body of men that's sent out to this district, and they see that, and they check in the houses and all that, and then one of these houses have a militia set up there, and they're gonna still ask for ID. They're still gonna ask for like, what? Do you, yeah, we work for the government. Well, how do we know that? Where's your ID? So everybody's under surveillance. You know, everybody's. This is a world operation by an elite body, a secret elite body of men. That's different from the average Edomite, even the ones that's in the military, even the ones that's in the FBI, CIA. You know, that's why if anything, they bring out the big bombs and shit. When America go to war, the policemen are not gonna be on the front. They're gonna do their police work in the cities, but they're not called to go to war. Uh, on that basis, they usually use the young men that are able to be trained into war. Set 18 on up, and they might change that, and I'm pretty sure they will. So those are the kind of people they send to war. You know, so they just got different operations, different setups, but this is overall going to affect everybody. This is the end of the world. This is basically um, the Armageddon. This is basically leading up to uh, the all-out war, to where Yahweh Shai is going to come back, Michael and his and the angels, and going to intervene. So that's how serious and heavy this last war is. It tells you that in Revelation, one war, one woe is past, and two woes more come. Woe means destruction, so it's going to be very destructive. You know, I mean, it's going to, and things we told you, things are happening simultaneously, where everything is coming to a head. You know, the World War III, the New World Order. Uh, you know, the Israelites coming into their state as looked at as aggressors and troublemakers of the trouble. And it said that in the Bible. You know, this is the man that uphold our ways as grievous and see the transgression of our education. We're going to test him to see if he's the son, if he's a son of God. You know, so all this is making sense, man. Now, and we're just waiting it out, even though we. It says, though it tarry, wait for it; it shall surely come. But distress, straits, and I think it talks about straits: adversary, foe, enemy, oppressor, hard pebble, flint. Like it's gonna get hard out here. Let me say it, straits scriptures. It says, um, Lamentations 1 and 3. Judah is gone into captivity because of affliction and because of great servitude. She dwelleth among the heathen, she findeth no rest. All her persecutors overtook her between the straits. You know, and that's what's happening all over again. This and Most High told us this is not our rest. You know, it says, among these nations shalt thou find no rest. Have the small hats ever been through that? To where every nation they go to, they see no rest. They've been bullied, they've been punched. They're like a punching bag. They've been ridiculed, made fun of, byword. They ain't experiencing that. Everybody open their doors because they're the rich and they want some of their money. But they, now they saying, well, we don't need no fucking money from these small hats. We don't need, Most High got Satan divided against himself. Shall not stand a house. Shall not stand as divided against itself. So were they talking about the euro? Were they talking about bitcoins? Were they talking about, even in I got to read more on that because you have to have some kind of agricultural means of living to maintain the earth at least. But they are exercising technology and um, AI and all that. I mean, everybody, you can find everybody new. What's his name? Elon Musk. He's on Twitter. Trump is on Twitter. They on these platforms just like anybody else. You might have be able to get on these platforms and Trump respond to you, and then you be like, that couldn't be Trump, and it really is. I mean, come on, these elites and these people that on high seas, they got time on their hands, man. I think when it might have been Obama too, but if I'm not mistaken, Obama or Trump, when they first got in the office, they went on vacation. Like, damn, you think it was a lot to catch up with, a lot to do concerning running this country? Nah, they on vacation. They drinking wine, sipping champagne, taking trips. Coke in the White House, having fun and shit. So, and then you say, well, how do they run this nation? How do they take care of all that business being goofballs, being, children of fools? How they was the Most High. He got them on that grind. Anyway, Job 22 and 20 and 22, in the fullness of his sufficiency he shall be in straits, every hand of the wicked shall be upon him. And I'm going to go to that word straits, probably talking about the same scripture, same definition. But yeah, the Jake is going to be up on his ass, man. Straits, Yasar. I forgot to do the Strong's on the pronunciation.
Strong's H 3334. Yatseer.
Yazar.
Yatseer.
It might be Yazar. I think that's what it is. Cause any other that syllable right, or if I'm saying it right, that character right there, it would otherwise be taza, but that underscore might make it zar. But like I said, I had to look that up. So I'll say it like Yazar right now. Being straight vexed, be narrow, to bind, be distressed, being talking about the same thing, be cramped, be narrow. They gonna close in on Jake. They closing in on these Jake neighborhoods, closing in on the citizenship. They're closing in on, you know, the laws about, what you're able to do and what you're not. Your freedom. And Obama had said that when he was in office, he said, well, you're gonna have, if you want freedom, you're gonna have to give some of that up. You're gonna have to give some of your privacy up. So it's basically he was trying to say, well, you get 50% freedom, and we get and 50% privacy, and then the other 50% is us. So that means no privacy at all, no freedom at all. You know, because if you gonna have freedom, you're supposed to have it 100%. But of course, there's no freedom, 100% freedom nowhere, or liberty nowhere. Even we on the righteous side are prisoners of Yahweh Shai. Like a lot of these Hebrew Israelites, they talking about they starting to do like they getting watered down more and more, man. They're starting to like, well, yeah, we can go ahead and have sex on the Sabbath. Yeah, we can go ahead and eat swine. Yeah, we can go ahead and celebrate Christmas. As long as you don't do this and that, you can still celebrate it. You can still worship Jesus just as long as you know his real name and you know he's not a so-called white man. You can still say Jesus now, man. It's getting watered down more and more. It says, make narrow, cause distress, besiege. They're besieging these neighborhoods. Like I said, that's why they created a system with inner cities. You can't go when you drive a truck and you're going one state to another or across the country or whatever. When you go through those, when you drive and you go outside the city or the state lines or something, all you're gonna see is mountains and land. And then you're gonna be like, damn, I need a gas station, or I need somewhere I can go to. And then you go to a gas station about to run out of gas, and then you enter the inner city, and there's the convenience again. You know, they're closing in on the 15-minute and making them 15-minute cities. You the same idea as their concept is that they just making it more confined, confined now. But the inner city has always been a place of convenience, with your fast food place right across the street, your gas right across the street, 2 blocks up, you got your liquor store, 2 blocks the other way, you got your clothing store, departments, and all that, and you don't have to go nowhere. That's why a lot of Jakes, when they get into that product or their environment, they don't travel. They just, hey, I'm getting go to 7-Eleven, give me a bag of chips and a soda, and they get high and they say, yeah, and they sit on the porch and dream a little bit, and it kills your motivation, it kills your mental brain cells because, that's why a lot of these celebrities, and before I talk too much, I'll close out, but making the last point, a lot of these celebrities, they starting to know things because they travel, and they say, well, yeah, I'm rich and I got a platinum album, whatever, and I'm going to get back in the studio and I got an interview, and I'm gonna be on a great show, Tonight Show, whatever these shows are now. And then they go outside and they travel, and then they see the poverty and shit, and they see people starving and the homeless and people on drugs and really deeply heavy drug infested neighborhoods and rat infested neighborhoods, and they were like, damn, it convicts them. Sometimes it convicts them. If Jake got a heart, it convicts him. Then he's like, oh shit. Then he'll start getting high and doing drugs to relieve his reality, that reality. So, you know, that's what Jake is doing now. I mean, a lot of our people like they want to escape this reality of World War III. They want to escape the reality of uh, nuclear war. They want to escape the reality of the real news that's being shown or not being shown. Um, they want to escape our reality of prophecy. That's the Most High. But we speak in prophecy. They want to escape that reality. And what it say in the scripture says, our people would even say that. Tell us lies, prophesy unto us deceits, prophesy unto us smooth things. That's what our people want to hear, especially these women. If you mention war to these women, they be like, I don't want to hear all that. That's why are you talking negative. Well, that's the truth though. And then but when the gates are open and it comes and it surfaces, and then the military is there, just like they in Chicago and in other cities, they're gonna be. Then they're gonna be like, well, this is not right. I want to talk to my lawyer. I want to talk to. It ain't no fucking lawyers, man. It ain't no. This is a worldwide operation of the bigger elite men. All that court stuff, that's gonna be out the window, man. This is all out. It's like the purge. It says Isaiah 30:10, which say to the seer, see it not, to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceits. They want to hear deceits. So what does that mean? They say y'all lying, y'all not telling truth. Well, it said y'all would want to hear smooth things and not unto us right things, because the right things are hard to bear. They're hard to swallow. So they want to hear the smooth things. I want to hear America is going to go on. I want to hear it gets better. I want to hear that we should all come together. Kumbaya. They want to hear prophesied deceit. They want the prophets to deceive them and lie to them and say everything is good. So guess what? If we seem to have said that or done that, and we let these people go in certain matters and say, well, go ahead, live it up, go do your thing. That's what they want to be told. We ain't going to be held accountable for that because that's what they want. So the Most High is not going to hold us accountable for that. Oh, you lied to us. You told us that, yeah, whatever we want to believe, that's cool, and go on my way. I could have been on the chariot. Well, you wanted us to prophesy deceits. So you can't blame us for that, man. Anyway, hopefully that's edifying to the next video. Shalom.